What strange omen now confuses my sight? How can I deny that I know this young girl is Antigone? O poor child of your poor father Oedipus, what is this? Have they somehow caught you breaking the king's laws, found you doing something foolish?
Here she is who did the deed. We found her burying him, but where's Creon?
What is it? What chance makes my coming tidely?
My lord, a mortal should never swear that something cannot happen, for hindsight makes liars of our plans. Just now, I never swore I would come back here. Because of those threats you shot at me, my greatest pleasure is the joy that you didn't even hope for. I came here despite the oaths of the contrary, bringing this girl who was captured, performing the rites of the burial. This time, no lot was shaken. No, this was one of my good lucks. No others. Now then, my lord, you take her, as you wish, and question her and sentence her. I've justly freed myself from those troubles.
But to bring her? Where did you find her? How?
She was burying the man. You know it all.
Do you really mean what you're saying?
I saw her burying the very corpse you forbade. Am I speaking clearly enough?
And how was she seen and caught in the act?
This is how it happened. When we came back threatened by those terrible things you said were brushed off, all the dust that was carrying the covered body left the clammy thing well and truly bare. Then we lay under the shelter of the highest hills, fleeing the foul stench. If any mind tossing approaches back and forth, if any man attention strayed of this task, it was that time when the brightest circle of the sun stands in the middle of the sky, and the heat burns. Suddenly a cyclone lifted from the earth, a storm of dirt. The stress of heaven fills the plain, tormenting and ripping apart the trees. The whole sky was filled. We just saw our eyes close and the road out of the divine storm. After a while it ended. The girl was seen, who was wailing bitterly like the shrill voice of a bird, who sees her empty nest stripped of its nurslings. That she screamed when she saw the uncovered body. She groaned loudly and called down evil curses who ever had done the work. Immediately she gathered dry dust in her hands from the jug of fine bronze and lifted up. She crowned the corpse with threefold libations. We saw it and rushed forward, caught her quickly, completely unperplexed. We questioned her both about the previous incident and the current. She stood there in denial of nothing. It's sweeter than escaping trouble for yourself, but it is painful to conduct friends into it. But for me, everything takes second place to my own safety.
You there, staring down at the ground. Speak up. Do you affirm or deny doing these things?
I assert that I did it. I do not deny it.
You then may take yourself where you will, rescued from a heavy charge. But you tell me briefly, not at length, did you know it had been announced not to do this?
I did. Why would I not know? It was clear.
And yet you dare to overstep these laws.
Because it wasn't Zeus who pronounced these things to me, nor did Justice, companion of the gods below, establish such laws for humanity. I would never thank you for the pronouncements had such strength that, being mortal, they could overwrite the unwritten, everlasting prescriptions of the gods, for those aren't something recently made, but live forever, and no one knows when they first appeared. I did not intend to pay the penalty to the gods for violating these laws in fear of some man's opinion, for I know I will die. How could I not? Even if he had proclaimed it, but if I die before my time, I say this is an advantage. Anyone who lives a life of sorrow as I do, how could they not count it as a blessing to die? Therefore, there is no pain for me in meeting this fate. Whereas if I were to endure that one born from my mother die unburied, that would cause me pain. As it is, I feel nothing. If, however, I seem to you to have acted foolishly, then perhaps I owe my foolishness to a fool.
But know that hard minds fall hardest, and that iron, so powerful of itself, baked to exceeding hardness, you might see crack and break into pieces. I know that spirited horses are broken with a small bit, for no one is allowed to think big thoughts. If he is another man's slave, she showed herself capable of insolence, then going beyond the laws put before her. Her second insolence, after she had done it, was to exult in her deed and laugh that she had done it. And now I am no man, but she is a man, if power lies with her with impunity. No, even if she were closer than my sisters, child, closer than any who share my family's chapel, She and her sisters will not escape the worst fate. For that girl as well, I charge an equal plotting. This burial in her to bring her here, for I just seen her inside in fury. Not like someone in full control of her senses. The heart of one who weaves wickedness and darkness is usually convicted beforehand. I, for my part, hate anyone caught in the act who tries to beautify his crimes thereupon.
Do you want something more than killing me?
Nothing more. I have that, and I have it all.
Then why wait? Nothing you say gives me the slightest pleasure. I pray nothing you say ever will, and by nature I offend you. And yet, could my fame be more gloriously established than by placing my brother in a tomb? I think all these people would agree if fear did not hold their tongues. Tyranny is lucky in many ways, above all in doing and saying what it will.
But here is Ismene before the doors, tears running down her cheeks out of love for her sister. A shadow over her flushed brow disfigures her face, staining her lovely cheek.
You, like a creeping viper, you hid in my house, poisoning me. I did not know I was nurturing two blights to rebel against my throne. Come, tell me, will you also claim a share of this funeral? Do you deny it?
I did the deed if she consents, and I will take and bear the charge.
But justice will not allow this to you, since neither did you want, nor did I share it.
But in your time of trouble, I am not ashamed to sail these stormy seas beside you.
Death and the dead will witness who did the deed. I love no friends, who are only friends in words.
No, sister, do not dishonor me, but let me die with you and honor him who died.
You may not die with me, nor call yours that which you did not touch. My death is enough.
Could I desire life when you have left me?
Ask Creon, since you're his protector.
Why do you grieve me, if it does not help yourself?
If I mock you, I do so with pain.
But now, what can I do to help you now?
Save yourself. I do not grudge you your escape.
Poor girl, am I to have no share in your fate?
Because you chose to live, and I to die.
But not with my arguments left unspoken.
You seem clever to some, I to others.
Then the error is equal to us both.
Cheer up. You live, but my soul has been dead a long time, that I might serve the dead.
I declare that both of these children are fools. One just becomes so, one her whole life.
Indeed, my lord, what sense we had does not stand by us in troubles, but goes away.
For you, at least, choosing bad deeds with bad people.
What would life be alone without her?
Do not speak of her. She is already gone.
You would kill the bride of your own son?
There are fields just as fertile.
Not with such harmony as he has with her.
I do not want bad wives for my son.
Dearest Haman, how your father injures you.
You annoy me, and this marriage of yours.
Will you really rob your son of this girl?
Death himself will stop this wedding for me.
It is determined, it seems, that she shall die.
For you and me both. Waste no more time, but bring them inside now, maids. From now on, they must be women and not wander free. For even brave men flee when they see death so close.
Truly blessed are those who have not tasted evil, for to them whose house is shaken by the gods, no species of madness is left out, creeping over the majority of the family, like a swell of sea salt when the sea's darkness runs upon the angry Thracian winds. It churns and murky sand from the deep and the storm-swept promontories, beaten by the opposing waves, roar with lamentation. I see that the old woes of the house of the Labdacids add to the woes of the dead, nor does the new generation deliver its race, but one of the gods throws them down. They have no release, for now light has fallen on the last root of the house of Oedipus. Bloody ashes of the gods now mow her down in turn, along with the folly of argument and fury of wits. O Zeus, what human transgression could limit your power? All-catching sleep never takes it, nor the unwearied months of the gods. But as never-decaying master, you hold the brilliant radiance of Olympus. The law will prevail, in time that is, time to come, as in all time past. Nothing comes assuredly to every mortal life, nothing but the rush to ruin. For indeed, wide-ranging hope is a blessing to many men, but to many also a trick of light-minded desires. It comes to one who knows nothing until he burns his foot walking in hot fire. Hence the old saying still shows its wisdom. Sometimes the bad seems good to one whose wits God leads to madness. He will last a short time without ruin,